Hello, hello, hi, hello, Lola. It is me, it is I, small town Didi, your hottie on the internet, and I am back. We are back, you guys. Yay. You guys should know by now. Whenever I'm like this, I know I've messed up. I just couldn't get into doing this review last week. I was like, oh my god, this episode dragged. But we're here to review and recap the Real Housewives of Cape Town. I was about to say Durban. Cape Town episode 7. I'm gonna do them back to back. So I'll post this and then I'll post I'm literally gonna record them in one sitting because I made notes for both of them. I was about to knock this over. What are we drinking today? Is it Sauvignon Blanc? I think so. I put it back in the fridge, so I don't know. It's hot by me, okay? It's been hot for a while. That's why you guys have been seeing me have a lot of white wine on here. Maybe we should start talking about what I'm drinking before we do the thing so you guys can sip with me if we're sipping. I'm so glad you all decided to come back. Thank you for rocking with me. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. See, I'm almost getting it right. Let your people know about your rakari on the internet. We out here. Episode 7, let's go. We continue at the dinner. Camilla walks in at the dinner. The ladies are like at it. Meow, meow, and then Tato's like, let me tell you something. Like it's a whole mess, you know, Tato. Yelling at everybody. Camilla tries to calm people down. Like, can we just get on for the weekend? Because I've put in all this effort into this and we do not want just some nonsense ruining this. We can always shelve this and have this conversation at a later date. Camilla seems to be a fan of this style of conflict resolution where you shelve things and when things have died down, you all can sit down and really have a productive conversation and apologies are exchanged and accepted or rejected, whatever. But she likes this style and it's very grown of her. So as we're sitting at the table, Rixie then says to Loveline, oh, so how was the Queen's plate, right? Or she said it to Lou. Lou is like, oh, it was very lovely. I ran into my friend, I ran into my friend there. And then Rixie's like, oh, you ran into her. Now we have to confront the issue in the room where Rixie's like, you know what, Loveline, I feel snubbed by you. You didn't show up for when we hit my Magidi. For my son, you chose to go to this thing. And then Loveline is like, oh, but Chomi, you know this is my job. And Rixie's like, what job? What job? Because Loveline is really trying to brand herself as this like mommy influencer, momfluencer or whatever. And Loveline is just like, no, like what job? Like you snubbed me to go to this thing that happens like every other season, but it's gonna happen again. This was this was only gonna happen this one time for my son and you chose not to show up for this. So then she's like, I feel undermined by you. I feel like maybe I've placed you elsewhere in this relationship and you've placed me elsewhere. I've been here where you overvalue somebody's friendship, or is it an overvalue thing or a denial? Sometimes we don't want to pay attention to how people treat us. People show us time and time again that they call us chomi and we're friends and we're whatever, but they don't never really show up the way the other friends show up, but they get to have the title of friend. So you need to sit back and really analyze the roles people play in your life and then treat them accordingly. You know, this is what's happening here. You know, she's like, I feel undermined by you. And then Loveline breaks down. This is very important to me because I'm a crier, right? And I'm a black woman with a mouth on me who's also a crier. Please don't think that because I'm crying that like you and I are not gonna have words. No. We can have words through the tears. Make me fucked up for real. Okay, don't do that. We can cry and then I can still tell you shit. But I haven't been that person since like I'm grown now. But I'm much more a crier now than I am, you know, a person who pops off at the mouth, which is hard to believe. I'm on YouTube popping off at the mouth, but whatever. Those who know me know exactly what I mean by this, right? I'm tamed, you all, like for real, okay? So she starts crying and I understand immediately what's happening here. I get it immediately and it's confusing to me why the rest of the ladies are in their confessionals calling her tears crocodile tears saying it to each other. We see later in the episode, Rushta, Rixie, and Tato have a conversation and they say that, oh, she was just faking it, she was deflecting. I understand it can feel like that. It feels more like a protection or a deflection mechanism when Jojo on Real Housewives of Durban does it. But she's also just a person who cries easily. Some of us are just like that. And when I cry, I'm not saying we now can't address this thing. I'm just set up that way. I can cry and I can still account for something that I did, and we can still talk about it and work it through. But like, how I'm set up is that I'm gonna cry a little. Like, it just is that way. So they're all looking at her like, so Lou's now feeling emotional because her friend is clearly having a moment. And what Loveline says is that I feel like you know my character. I feel like you, Rooksy, whom I've been friends with for over 13 years at this point, for you to question my character. I thought you knew me. Like, I invited you into my life. You've spent my life with me for X amount of years. You've got to see, you know, very intimate parts of my life, and you are turning around and questioning. And really, she put up a post where she's like, she felt like it was character assassination, the drama, darling. But I understand where she's coming from. I had a falling out with a friend. We're fine now. But we had a moment, like a miscommunication of sorts, where it was like, I felt like I'm so vulnerable with you, and you also feel like you're so vulnerable with me, but that certain things are a foregone conclusion, and we just think friend gets it. Like, I share so much with friend that friend wouldn't accuse me of this particular thing. This is the one thing that I'm not, you know. Let's not sit on this. But then it's very interesting that when we as black women are vulnerable and we cry like that, nobody wants to recognize our vulnerability for what it is. Everybody looks at us like, oh, we just trying to like make it. Like, literally all the women are like, oh, crocodile tears, or she, no, this person was hurt that her friend feels this way about her. Like, it happens. We cry. Like, black women cry. It's a whole thing, guys. The next morning we see, there seems to be a theme in this whole season of, I was having a coffee earlier because I'm trying to stay up. There seems to be people just don't tell people how to dress. Like, they don't give full description of, this is the activity you'll be doing. Fine, sometimes you don't want to give it away, but you can at least say athleisure, right? You can at least say casual glab, whatever. You can say something. Camilla says she's sending a horse and carriage. Camilla, girl, what? This a donkey, girl. This a donkey and a garikana. This is no carriage, lady. Do you know a carriage? Like, that's supposed to be their ride for the day. So anyway, they all get onto the garikana, and because it's not a carriage, they all get onto the garikana, and like, what do we call the person who steers the thing? It doesn't matter. He's like, only 3 of you can be on here, because guys, literally, like, that donkey, I understand that like Beverly and Rush don't really eat, so they're like one person, like there's a but no, it's not gonna pull all of you. So anyway, Tato, Lou, and Bev get off, and Rushta, not Tato, Loveline, oh bad that there's so many, Loveline, Bev, and Lou get off, and they take a walk to a vintage store and just to see about the place. And then the other two take, I don't even know where they went, guys. They were clocking on the Karikana, and they were talking about the events that happened, that transpired at dinner, and like them saying, well, I think she's just deflecting. I also understand Rixie's point of view, saying, but friend, like, I laid out to you. That's what I'm saying. In my tears, I'll still have to have the conversation, right? Loveline didn't. Loveline just cried and was like, oh my God, I feel so attacked, right? You didn't validate friends' experience of how things went down. You didn't acknowledge that. And that's what Rixie says in a confessional. I told you what I'm experiencing, what I'm feeling about what you did, and you didn't address that. You didn't say, oh my God, I didn't realize this thing, you're totally offside the way. None of that. There was no acknowledgement of what we were saying. There was just you crying and deflecting. Well, but yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm not changing my mind. Like, both things were happening at the same time. Then we see Camilla preparing for the ladies to come over. Her home looks beautiful. Her home in Grayson is, oh my god, it's so picturesque. It's really lovely. She's preparing, she's putting in all her effort. I will forgive her for taking things straight out of the containers and onto the platters because I don't have to eat that food. She don't wash the greens. She didn't even run them under the tap. You know, like, you fake wash them a little bit. Like, you understand? Like, I don't have to eat that shit, so I don't have to feel any which way about it. Everything looks good. It looks fresh. And then we see her cars, her 2 vintage cars, pick up the ladies and they drive over and she welcomes them. She's really put in a lot of effort and I am so glad they, oh my god, obsessed with the hydrangeas. Obsessed. I love flowers. I was obsessed. Okay. She's prepared a nice lunch for them and they actually recognize, okay, this is why she wasn't. And it's so nice to have somebody host you. Yes, get catering if you're not like, you know, domesticated person like that. But I suppose this is because that's how I show love. I like to prepare things with my hands and give people things that I've made with my hands, things they can eat, because food just makes you feel something, right? So I understand this and I'm so glad that they received it that way. Everybody's sitting at the table. They get to talking at some point. People are talking about vaginal rejuvenation. I don't care for Loveline. Like, Loveline is putting on this performance of a good Christian woman. It's a fucking performance, okay? She's putting on this, I'm such a prude. I can't sit here and talk about my goo-goo with all these ladies. Like, oh, it's a girl. Why are you up on here? Why are you up on here? For real. I'm not even saying people aren't allowed to be a little timid and a little this, but it's like, grow the fuck up. Like, when I'm sad, look, you've been here a while. We sit around and talk about our vaginas. That's what we do. We love to talk about things like that. Like when it's just us, we really just want to talk about vaginas. Why is she acting like that's not what we do? Right? And then the issue of Sango must come up again where she's like, no, Camilla, but are you? Oh my God, no. They go out into the garden and they have an astrologer there. Some woman who said, yo, the session was boring. The black women are confused. This person is not being direct. It's not like she's not reading you per se, right? You give her your birthday and whatever, and then she goes on the internet and looks for your chart and then she tells you what it means. It's like she doesn't have a sixth sense about her and she can't just read you for what it is and just give you a reading like a good old-fashioned tarot card scammer. Like, do you not know how to scam, white lady? Like, the fuck? So the ladies are bored. They get back to the table. It's a little bit later in the evening now, and Camilla's, they bring up the Sangoma thing. Tato's like, now I just want to know, like, are you really this? Because you seem to entertain it a bit. So Camilla tries to clear the air that, you know what, I don't want to use the word Sangoma because I don't want it to seem like I'm making a joke out of this because I didn't go to training. But I have a sixth sense. I can pick up on things and things like that or whatever. Again, Tato with her performance of a good Christian woman. I can't pinpoint why it is. Loveline, man. I can't pinpoint why exactly Loveline is so trying to figure this out. It's almost like she's trying to figure out, if you're about this shit, I'm going to distance myself from you. I didn't understand what she saw about this, her and her holy water. They start talking about the vaginal, no, they were talking about the vaginal rejuvenate earlier, and Camilla was like, no, she got one 9 years ago where they went and tightened in everything and she's pretty much a virgin again. Beverly says she got hers not too long ago. They talk about, I didn't know that Rixie had a BBL. How do I say this without seeming like I'm body shaming this lady? Because I don't want to do that, because I'm built like her. Like I'm shaped similar to what she's shaped like now. So, but she still has a belly. So I don't know if they did it a while ago and she's put the weight back on. Because the thing about the surgeries as well is that you can't just get the fat sucked out of you and put into your bum and then you don't maintain and keep the waist snatched. It's just gonna come back. But her bum looks good. Like whoever did that booty really did it well. Like the South African girls aren't really getting BBLs like that. Maybe like the club hosts in the last couple of months, even Ava, and is it Eva and Stelo and them, Stelo just got hers probably a month ago or something. So it's not that much of a culture yet for us because we lag a little behind, but also a lot of the girls I know are curvy. Like a lot of us just have ass. I'm not saying everybody has ass, so it's the thing to have, but like we got some ass. You know, Roxy says she didn't have, and I don't blame her for going to go get some. And then that was pretty much the most interesting thing that happened that episode. What else happened? Oh, Roche tells everybody that she's pregnant. Everybody's so happy for her. It's such a good moment. Yeah, and then to end the evening, Camilla, this episode is boring, guys, like I'm sorry. Camilla gifts the ladies some butter dishes. Like, I loved it. I've been obsessed with this TikTok of this girl or woman or whomever. She shows us like her vintage butter bowl. Didn't know what it was, and then you like store your butter in it and you put water in the lower thing. Anyway, you set it on your counter, that way your butter doesn't go off, because butter molds rather easily, unlike, you know, margarine, because butter is actually, it's actual food, like it's derived from milk, you know, so it molds rather quickly, right? So but then you also want it soft, so you have to have it out so that when you want to use it, you can actually butter your bread and have it be nice and spreadable. So she gives them these gorgeous, and then she didn't make one for Lou because Lou was just invited on the trip via, what's her name? She wasn't even invited. She was brought onto the trip by Loveline. She wasn't really invited, so Camilla had not catered for her because she had prepared for these ladies. And then Lou gets very rude, actually. Oh my god. And then Camilla says in her confessional, I don't know who drug her up because she definitely wasn't brought up. I was like, girl, the white woman reads. The white woman, bruh. I was like, yo. Something else happened at that dinner earlier on. At the dinner earlier on, Beverly owns up to saging Thinga's home, Camilla's home, without her permission. And Camilla's just like, oh, it's okay, darling. Camilla's, it's okay, love. Like, it's okay. I'm so sorry. This is Beverly. If you don't want me in your home again, I'll understand. Oh, it's okay. And she just lets it go, just like this. I was like, Lina, Tatoba muruile. Tatoba muruile. Like, Tato was told all manner of shit for walking around that woman's yard and landing up in her bathroom. You hear me? This other one was burning and peppering your home. And now you're just like, it's okay, darling. It's okay. It's fine. I don't know. But I found that to be a little odd. Rashta brings this up in another episode, in the next episode, that why was that so easy to get over? What was that about when Tato was given such a hard time? And she really was. Anyway, she gives them this, and then Lou gets, when she wants to give them the butter bowls. Why do I keep calling them the butter dishes? They're not bowls, they're dishes, but same concept, right? When she's about to, so there's a story behind what she does, Camilla. She's a thoughtful person, and that's why I love the gift that she gave them, you know. She's like, well, there's a saying that goes that you were born with your butt, you landed your butt in the butter, implying that you were born with luck, or you were, you know, born into wealth or whatever. And she's like, no, like everything I have, I've had to work for, and I find that hard to believe. I think she comes from money. I'm not sure about what I'm saying, but I just get the sense that she's always been okay, right? So anyway, she got each of the dishes to match the ladies' personalities, right? Beverly's one has stars around it. I assume that's like, you know, a diamond, that's like her birthstone. Tato's one says vines because she's a winemaker. I don't know what the other ladies have, but it's really, really thoughtful. So as she's like explaining to them what made her gift these ladies this particular thing, Lou's like, oh, just get to, like, Lou gets impatient with her, and Lou's reminded that you weren't even really invited, girl. We don't even know you like that. why are you talking? She was being really rude. I found it like her whole attitude was just in poor taste. I didn't like any of it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that was it, guys. This episode was just this. It's just reviewing episode 8 without doing episode 7 would just not have made sense. None of it would have made sense. Anyway, that's it. Bye, Yala.